Hello, my absolutely beautiful Sagittarius friends, and welcome to your horoscope for November of 2023, where I get to open this month saying happy birthday, Sagittarius. Really, really very cool. Now, yes, birthday time is not going to be until about mid-month, and then, of course, moving through the December timeframe, but this is birthday month. Like, you are in the weeks leading up to birthday, and then birthday time kicks in, so happy, happy, happy birthday. Listen, I'm an astrologer. I never need a reason to justify celebrating your birthday. So happy birthday, Sag. Hopefully this month is going to bring you some rest before birthday time rolls around. We've got a new moon that's happening in Scorpio in your 12th house space, really lighting up this space where, I'm wondering, what are you understanding that you're willing to commit to and make a priority to say goodbye to some things, to let this, this moon take away from you what you don't need anymore, what's not serving you, what's not going to go with you moving forward. Because what a fantastic moon to roll you into your birthday time, where at the end of the month, you've got a full moon in Gemini territory to bring new relationships in order to help you go on the journey that you have a clear pathway to travel to now. So really very cool stuff. Now, we've also got Saturn turning direct in the energy of Pisces. And then not only will the sun move into Sagittarius, but we will also see Mars and Mercury join Sagittarius vibration as well. So it is a rockin' sockin' month. Let's get in here and get ready to talk about what the month actually has to offer you. But before we do, make sure that you click in the description box down below and grab your digital transit calendars from our friends over at Wise Sky Collective. And if you use my code in the description box down below, you're also going to get a little bit of a discount. And that thing is so cool. It comes right to your phone. Every day you know what's going on. I really like it because when the moon is void of course, I get a notice about 30 minutes before it goes void of course. So for me, very consciously, I'm like, oh, okay, shift gears. I don't need to build anything. I don't need to be moving forward. I can start to wind down and finish some things. And it really changes the entire flow of the day. So if that sounds like you and you could use that kind of help and guidance, get your digital transit calendar down below. All right, Sagittarius, as we're coming into this month on the 4th, we see Saturn coming direct in the energy of Pisces. Now, Saturn is going to come direct at 0 degrees of Pisces, having traveled between 0 and 7 degrees of Pisces since March of 2023, which is this year. So go back into March this year. What was happening for you around home, family, real estate, property? What was happening for you with things with your parents, or where intuitively you knew something was happening or was changing, or even you were actually changing your location of living or something like that in March of this year. Because what happened there for you? This is where Saturn was like, okay, maybe you didn't have all of the information at that time. And now as Saturn's coming direct, you have much more information. So whatever's needed to be restructured, or you needed to get a new strategy around, especially something about trusting your own intuition, this is where the Saturn coming direct is going to be the most helpful. Now remember, Saturn has hit this 0 degrees of Pisces twice now, and that is an anaretic degree. So it means that it is energetically really, really concentrated. So as Saturn comes direct here, you could find yourself having just this real understanding that you're like, yes, I want to move forward, but my intuition is telling me this. And trust your intuition. This is the Pisces, because Saturn says, put some structure around this, crystallize this. What do you know? Give this space, give this intuition, give your gut feeling a structure to work in so that it can flow easily and accurately. And that's how you crystallize your mastery. So what did you find out in the 4th house zone, or what changed for you? Because now being able to move forward is going to be a little bit easier. When we get to the 8th, we see that we've got Venus entering into the energy of Libra. Okay. Now this is going to light up your 11th house space. Now, Sag, this is actually quite fun for you, because it's an indicator that for the month of November, your social life might be just glittering. I mean, first of all, it's Venus, who is very magnetic. So it's about pulling energy into you, but then it's home in its domicile in Libra. So it's friendly, it's social. People could be inviting you to things, or your friends have things going on. There's family things in the United States, so are you pulling in, are you magnetizing opportunities to you? But the other thing I do like about Venus in the 11th is if you are single, you are on the mingle, and you're ready for something like that in a social setting, or maybe a friend becomes something more, that is a very real use of that Venusian energy. Now, an absolute other vibration of Venus here is because the 11th house is so social. If you needed to promote something, put something out, or you were looking for a line of business understanding, you can start to attract clients. Maybe you're redoing your branding, your social media, something like that. This is a great way to use Venus as well. And it's typically such a pleasure to work with this energy, okay? When we get to the 10th, we are going to see Mercury now moving into the energy of Sagittarius. So Mercury in your sign. Remember, first of all, Mercury moving forward always brings new information, okay? So as Mercury is coming into your sign, it's first of all bringing you brand new information on what? On you, on your first house, on your ideas, on your identity, on the way that you would like to express yourself, the ways that you would like to communicate. It's also going to give you this opportunity. Mercury will provide you this energy where it's like, okay, yes, I see the big picture of where you want to go, Sag. I see that big trip you want to plan. I see this big thing that you want to take on, but what are the step-by-step instructions we need to take on in order to be able to do that? Now, Sag, I will warn you that with Mercury in your sign, something that can really happen, and it happens so quickly, is that you take on a whole bunch of things, right? You load that plate up and it's too much. You're overloaded. So you do want to be mindful, because it's a very easy energy to just say yes and be like, it's fine. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out, right? It can even be something you think about in the first house with your body. Where have you already been saying that? And you're having to get a step-by-step reality check here where you're like, it's fine. I'll work out tomorrow. It's all going to work out, right? So this is a place to just be a little bit mindful, okay? Now, on the 13th, we are going to see the new moon happening at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So make sure you grab that on your chart and look for where this 20 degrees of Scorpio is lighting up, because it's going to be exactly the arena of attention, okay? So this particular new moon is going to be happening in your 12th house space, which again, one of the biggest questions I have for you with this happening in the 12th house is really like, what are you ready to let leave you? What are you willing and ready to let go of? Because you're like, that's not serving me. I can't move forward with that anymore, right? These are some big questions, because the new moon, you're planting your seeds of intention to begin something new, but you're committing to it. You say, I am willing to make this a priority and to commit to this, to mastering this area. Now, this particular moon is also in conjunction with Mars, its ruler, and it opposes Uranus. So yes, I'm willing to take on something new. I see this new path, this new journey, this new shift in front of me. But in order to really get in the groove of it, Uranus, right? I have to have a really flexible or really new innovative approach or perspective to what I'm doing. Because this moon, as Uranus gets involved, it's like, hey, we have to see this from a different point of view. And I think that that's really going to be so good for you, because one, it can help you really re-strategize and innovate your plans. What is important for you? What does need to go? What does need to end, right? Where can you surrender? Where do you need to look spiritually to something? These are great questions. And the Uranian energy makes you go, oh, I really thought it was this idea over here that I really wanted to push forward. This was my new beginning. And you go, oh, wait, it's actually this over here. It's okay, I see it differently. So it can swap even your priorities and your perspective on what is the priority. Now, Uranus will also, because it is in the energy of Taurus, It will require evolution on your part, that it says, okay, what's the resources? Where are the resources behind this that can actually be a tool for you to almost rebel against your past ideas, right? Because it's like, oh, that past idea was really such a good one. And now you've got to have this new perspective, or you've got to innovate. But this idea of like worrying about what happens if I change, and then this Uranus is like, nope, you got to see this as an opportunity for this Taurus thing to be a resource for you. This new idea, this new perspective is actually a resource that you can eat off of. That's the Taurus chant, okay? All right, as we get to the 22nd, happy birthday. We see the sun move into Sagittarius. On the 24th, Mars moves into Sagittarius. So now the gang's all over here, Sag, all right? We've got a lot going on in your sign, and take pleasure. Please take pleasure in some of the small and delicious moments of your season, right? You know, make some shorter term plans. I know that you're like a big planner. Make some shorter term plans, but also if you do have the opportunity around your birthday to travel, to get out and to let those Sagittarian legs and thighs of yours take a leap, my friend, please do it, okay? On the 25th, we are going to see Mercury enter into pre-retrograde shadow time at 22 degrees of Sagittarius, so 22 degrees of your sign, and it's going to take the actual retrograde on December 13th at 8 degrees of Capricorn. So this retrograde is dancing between that first and that second house for you. So you want to look at these degrees on your personal chart and see if there's anything interacting there. And if nothing else, make sure you identify these houses in your personal chart, okay? Now, as we're going to close out this month on the 27th, we've got the full moon happening at 4 degrees of Gemini, okay? So as this full moon comes, first of all, the full moon is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment, okay? Now, this full moon is lighting up your 7th house space. So this is about relationships, okay? This particular moon is also still having a conversation with Mars, got the sun, square Saturn here. So there are some obstacles. This particular moon, I think, is showing you that there is a blockage in the way somewhere. And the blockage is very Gemini. It's almost that it's information, right? Like, so in your relationships, you're hearing this one piece of information over here, but this piece of information is happening over here. And so they don't line up exactly. And your job is to find the sweet spot in the middle of the information to find where you can actually do something with what has been presented to you. Right? Now, the other thing about this Gemini energy that I've been looking at is the fact that this is a lunar event, which could be, do you find out information, about your family or something about your partner's family that you didn't know before, like your partner was telling you this, or your partner's family was telling you is this, and then you find out it's this over here. And it's like, whoa, these pieces of information don't exactly line up. And this can bring on a feeling of like, these people are delusional. There is a little bit of, deception that I think can be in here a bit. But your job, again, is to use the opposition, use all of the light that the full moon provides to shine the light in the room and find the middle ground. That's going to be your absolute biggest helper. Okay, so don't be surprised, though, if information isn't as streamlined as it has been at some of these other previous lunar events, all right? Okay, Sag, let me know how your month goes in the comment section down below. Don't forget to get your digital transit calendar, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Bye, Sag.